Are we live?
5,
4, 3, 2.
Whammy.
Are we live?
We are live, my friend.
Welcome to The Scoop with Chris and Whitney. I'm Whitney Reid, National Sales Manager at BPI Sports.
And I'm Chris Mackenzie, Senior VP of BPI Sports, and we're still amazed we have a show. So thank everyone for listening. That joke, credit to super producer Big Dennis. Way to come through.
All right, so yeah, we have a ton going on today. Do you want to run down the list of?
Yeah, so listen, actually this is a huge day because we have a giant guest coming at the end. We have a sick interview with Regan Grimes coming up, and that one's...
Hold on, Regan Grimes.
Regan Grimes.
You even were the one that corrected him yesterday.
That's right.
You were like, people keep messing up your name.
I had it wrong.
Regan, and then you kept on calling him Regan throughout the whole interview.
So, but whatever the kid's name is, he is on fire in the bodybuilding world, and we're thrilled to be sitting down with him and hearing a lot more. Also, we got a great segment, Freak of the Week. You know, we like to talk about people. We talked about, I can't remember our previous freaks. I'm already drawing a blank.
Michael Phelps.
Oh, yeah.
And Harrison.
Harrison, yeah.
Yep.
That's right.
We got the fire drill coming up where we take rapid fire questions, and then we have a very big brand ambassador BPI team spotlight we want to shine on one of our good friends this week. So that's where we're starting. And I guess with that, Dennis, it's...
It's the fire drill.
Time for the fire drill.
Fire drill. So we're going to rapid fire questions at each other, and you only got a couple seconds to answer. And I should say that this is the actual first week where we had enough fire drill questions sent in from podcast listeners. So thanks to everybody who actually gives a shit about our podcast. And if you want to submit any ideas, questions, topics, fire drill ideas, Dennis, D-E-N-I-Z, he hates when I give his email out, at bpisports.net. As I said last week, the best way to guarantee your email goes unread. Whitney, better for building muscles, dumbbells, machines, barbells, what?
Dumbbells.
All right, and why?
Better range of motion than a typical barbell press, and better stability. You're going to work on your stability muscles. I'm just a fan. Always use them.
All right.
3 exercises for a thicker back, and that's a great question for you.
Listen, deadlifts, and deadlifts. That would be my answer.
Good answer.
Yeah. If I were to round it out, maybe heavy bent over rows, superset it with deadlifts. And then heavy T-bar rows, superset it with deadlifts. So that's 9 exercises.
You love the superset, the deadlift superset. You're great
right.
with that, and you do have a great back.
Well, not you personally. Two reasons people can't get a six-pack.
You eat like shit, and you don't work out hard enough.
Yeah.
That's simple.
That is the ultimate truth of fitness.
All right, greatest Mr. Olympia of all time.
All right, I'm going to let you answer after I answer. I'm going to give you 2 answers. One, although I'm not a huge Arnold fan, you have to say Arnold because he's the one that took the title and really did a lot with it. Physique-wise, though, I grew up in the 80s, and Lee Haney, mind-blowing physique. So I'm going to go with Lee Haney over Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Wow, okay. I'm going to go with our Jay Cutler with that.
Yeah, that guy's not too bad either. Whit, what do you eat or what should you eat before a workout?
I like to keep it like as a very light meal, so usually a protein shake.
I got one for you. If you're moderately in shape, probably body fat under 10%, a handful of potato chips does some crazy shit to your body.
Let's see, best supplements to build lean muscle.
Okay, we're gonna name 3. I'm not gonna name them all. Best creatine defined. Our new creatine product really puts on some solid dry weight. What would you go with next?
Oh, best BCAAs. Definitely drink them all day long.
Listen, I barely even consider protein a supplement. I really put on the food side of my diet, but a really good protein supplement would be it. Little bro science here. Whit, what's in the most bro-y sense of things, your best bench, squat, and deadlift?
This is such a terrible question, but I'll answer it the best I can. My best bench ever, 475. I'm not anywhere close to that at the time being. My best squat ever, 515. I know that's like just slightly above my bench press, so that's like not a great answer. My best deadlift ever was right at 600 pounds. How about you?
Wow, well, I can't touch any of those numbers. So I am not a great bencher. My best bench, I did hit 365 in a powerlifting meet several years ago, and I manned up for the moment.
How much did you weigh when you benched that?
I was I think the class ended at 181. It was like timed it with a bodybuilding
That's a great
show,
bench press.
So it was pretty good. I wore a shirt, I had one of those shirts on. Did not wear elbow wraps though. And that shirt makes a huge difference. Squat, 495. I've never got any heavier. Deadlift, I'm going to give you a different answer. I did pull on a straight bar 495 for 10 reps once, and I did pull on a hex bar 520 for 20 reps. So I'm going to call those my best deads, even though they're not a single.
Yeah, that's impressive. And maybe you've never done over 495 on a squat, but I see you go back there and kill 315 for tons of reps. I mean, you're one of the best squatters I've ever trained with. So.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I just, got to stay within a safe kind of comfort zone. But that's the end of the fire drill. We put in a little quicker than we should have. Again, questions, we can send them in to Dennis with a Z.
D-E-N-I-Z.
Yeah.
Wrong, double N-I-S.
All right, so just wrap that up and getting ready to lead into our next special guest. We have to welcome this guy. He just came off of the Tampa show this past weekend, Regan Grimes.
Here he is.
All right, so today I'd like to welcome our very special guest, Regan Grimes,
scoop.
not Reagan, and his girlfriend, Victoria Dariano. Did I get it right? And I got it right. Okay, I got both names right. That's awesome. So welcome to the office. We appreciate you guys being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And
So, a lot of questions. I mean, listen, you're a very interesting pair of people. I mean, obviously, the fact that so many people follow you on social media shows that there's some things about you that people just love and are intrigued by. I mean, we got a ton of questions. I'll start with one. I got an easy one for you.
Okay.
You personally kind of became like a social media phenomenon. And before I met you, I guess you went down to Brazil to compete because I know that in Canada they give out like -1 pro cards a year.
Yeah,
so you needed to find some opportunity. I actually thought you were Brazilian until I found out the whole story.
Really?
I saw you in there. So when I first saw you, then you had a lot of momentum. What do you think? When did you really feel like forget bodybuilding for a second? Yeah. Your kind of persona, your social media. When did you feel like that was like, holy shit, this thing's starting to like become something legit?
Right. So like just the social media aspect of it?
Yeah, like when did you there had to be a moment where you looked up and you're like, I have a fucking 50,000 followers and I'm just some kid from Canada.
You know what it was actually? It's usually when I go into a contest mode, I really enjoy showing like the whole process. Like so going from 16 weeks out to being in like an off-season shape to showing every step of the way to the stage. And you know what? It kind of like it motivates me being able to share that with other people, and they kind of give me feedback, and it inspires other people to do the same, or maybe it helps them get through their journey, which kind of helps me get through mine.
That's really cool.
And I enjoy it. It's fun.
No, I agree. And to your credit, like something about what you did really resonated with everybody, and that's super cool.
I think it's just so relatable that it might be something so simple. I'm eating chicken and rice, and I'm putting mustard and Frank's hot sauce on it, and they are doing it too, and it's just you're watching that, and it's relatable. So
I know you're Whitney's favorite follow on Instagram. You keep on talking about love following.
yeah, I've talked about it a couple of times the past two podcasts where there's something unique that you're doing that other guys aren't doing as far as your stories for Instagram. And
right.
I see you got a guy here filming you, so you obviously have somebody that follows you around and is able to capture all that content, which is great. You're documenting everything.
Everything. So like from meal one, waking up, having breakfast, to almost to like down to every set and exercise that I do in the description of my YouTube video. So we're trying to show everything,
Yeah, and there's something unique about that, like because other people are doing similar things, but I think it's your personality and the way that it comes across. It's like really, it's fun to watch. It's fun to follow along with that. So
I mean, the one thing people need to remember about you is you are how old?
I just turned 24.
So 24. So that's really, really young. So like a two-part question. Obviously, Victoria's here with you. When did you start getting are you like high school sweethearts or what? And then like when did you start getting into bodybuilding and how did your lives intertwine?
That's a big question.
At 24 years old, it can't be that big because there's not that much behind you. I mean, like at 46, there's a lot of backstory. At 24, it can't be that much. So like where did it all start and where did you guys start and how did it play together?
Where did we meet?
So we were both working at a supplement store. So Regan ended up being a manager there, and then I was working there. And then I was.
And what was the store? Let's hear the name.
It's called
Body Systems Nutrition.
Still there?
So it was a supplement store.
Okay. It was
in
in the
in the
university.
Western University there in London, Ontario.
And that's in Canada?
Yeah, that's in
Okay,
Canada.
I didn't understand any of those words.
Yeah. So that was in Canada.
And then we were also
and we-
both working in a bar. So I was
Yeah.
doing bottle service and he was doing
I was bouncing security.
And then
Yeah.
I was
Very
also
cool.
working in a
Yeah.
gym. I had like 3 jobs at the time.
But you guys must have been like, how old?
20. No, not even.
Nine-
You would just turn.
just
You
turned
just turned
20.
20.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've been together almost 4 years. So,
Yeah. So we basically all day we were running into each other.
So you compete
right?
too,
So-
but let's table that for a second. So where were you in your competitive journey at this point
So
in time?
she was.
you'd only done one show. We both had done one show. The
Yeah,
same
yeah.
show, but a year difference.
Oh, okay. So you had been competing too, okay.
So she
Yeah.
was. Yeah. You had done one show, and I had
just
done one show.
and he had done one the
Yeah,
year prior.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And we're in a smaller city, so there's not a ton of
Yeah,
people
there's not many
competing, right?
people
So
who
it
do
was
it.
kind of, we relatable there. So, we both worked in the same place, and it just, basically we met the first time, and I was like, let's go for a workout, and then they went from there.
Oh, you used that move.
Yeah. I was like, let's go for a workout.
My wife and I did the same thing on our first date.
Actually,
So
my,
it was
my
easy,
girlfriend and I
you know?
did the same thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's, very
It was
common.
like, let's go for a workout, and then, I don't know,
And
I
like
just
if she
started.
spots you good, she gets to come to dinner,
Yeah,
and if she
right.
doesn't,
Yeah.
you sneak
And then I kept
off.
going
yeah.
around the gym, and we're working out, and I'm like, hey, here's my girlfriend, Victoria, and we weren't dating at all, but I just started introducing her, and so I go, yeah, it's funny.
And then when did you make the decision from that point to make a run to be like an IFBB? I mean, obviously everybody who's ever competed has said, I would love to be an IFBB, but like
Right.
not everybody really puts the gas to it. Not everyone decides to fly to Brazil. I mean, like when did all of that plan start to fall into place?
I mean, I did my first show, like with the OPA, like the tier to get to the IFBB, on my like 20th birthday weekend. So in Canada, there's 3 levels of shows. So it's to get to a pro qualifier, you have to do level 1, which is a regional show. You have to get top 5, and then you got to do provincial, which is you got to get top 5 as well to go to the Canadian Nationals, where there's a
the
pro
show.
qualifiers. Because I know in the States it's 2 levels, right? So you got to do the first level, and then the second
Actually,
level
in
you
the
can
U.S.,
get your pro card,
if you
right?
compete in men's physique,
Yeah.
they actually just give you a pro card when you sign up for the NPC. So it can be that easy here.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm
So,
joking.
yeah.
Just because they give out 46 at the
Yeah,
national
yeah.
show.
That's
How many pro
crazy.
cards they give out at the Canadian Nationals?
Like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And they gave out 46 at the
Like
US,
one to each
the last US
category.
national
You
show
have to
in
win
men's
the
physique,
entire
so that's
show.
crazy.
Right. It used to be like that here, but that was years ago. that you'd have-
Bodybuilding's still tougher though. Like men's physique, they do seem a little bit
Men's
more.
physique's more. Yeah.
No.
And the classic physique, I think, too, a little bit, or is it
Well,
the same?
I'm not sure. I know like when they started men's physique, they
I feel like
wanted
there's
to
a lot of classic
they
physique
wanted to give
products.
out a lot of pro cards in the beginning.
But then there's a lot of men's physique coming up, so you don't really know. Yeah.
Like they wanted to recruit, but then they never seemed to say we've reached a critical mass. But you know what? I mean, it keeps a lot of competitors in the sport. So as much as you might joke about it, or this poor kid who has 1 pro card a year, it's kind of funny to bust his chops. But it's ours. And then one more competitive question. So for you, I know you made a really hard run at things right before the Olympia last year. Victoria, what sparked your like next level move from working in the bar and?
Well, I was already competing because I used to be a varsity level swimmer, so I swam throughout university, and then once I was done swimming, I went from basically training, 25 hours a week to nothing. So I started getting in the weights, the training and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then I was following all these people who were doing competition, so I kind of got exposed to that, and then my competitive edge took over, and I was like, oh, I should do a show. I kind of just rushed into it, but I ended up winning that show, and then that's kind of when I decided I wanted to continue with it, because I was like, oh, this is fun. I like doing this.
Okay,
It's challenging.
and as a swimmer, what did you swim? I saw you do a butterfly.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
said.
What'd you do a 100-meter butterfly?
200-meter
Wow.
200-meter butterfly. Okay.
You're a great athlete.
And what was your time there? Like
It's different.
2:45 or something?
No,
What's a good time?
no,
100-meter
no.
butterfly.
Because you guys do yards, we do meters.
No, the swimming in the U.S. though is in meters. So if you
Okay.
go to a meet, the pools are all metered.
Long course or short course, because it's different.
You mean whether it's a 50-meter pool or a
Yeah.
25? I don't know. Just give me an answer. No one knows what swimming is
would-
anyway. Just you could say like
I think I would do it
300
like
hectares and people would think.
225.
Wow, so that is awesome. Yeah, I remember what.
It's crazy. It
Yeah.
looks so smooth.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Yeah.
Well, and that's also what gives you like that great kind of shape to your physique, and a lot of it I think is the breathing and stretches your ribcage.
Yeah.
But anyway, and yeah.
When we first met you, it was at the
Olympia?
was it the Olympia?
Yeah.
Olympia,
Yeah, last year at the
yeah.
Olympia, and you had just competed
Literally one
in the.
year.
I
Yeah,
did
it was right
the
a year ago.
North Americans.
The North Americas,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's your plans for
I
the
think
future?
I'm done competing.
You're done
actually,
competing.
Yeah, I've followed along on
Yeah.
your Instagram, so I've like kept up and just explain the process and what you've been doing.
So for me, it was kind of a hard decision because I was really invested into competing and I did enjoy it, and I kind of identified myself as a competitor, and just with the following I had, a lot of these people looked at me and they thought of me as a fitness competitor. So for a while I wasn't really happy with what I was doing. I had a lot of body image issues, I had bad depression, anxiety, and it was just kind of consuming my life negatively. And I got to a point where I didn't really want to do it anymore, but then I felt kind of the pressure to do it because I felt like I had all these people that were expecting me to do it. So when I finally decided I didn't want to compete anymore, it actually was like a huge like relief off my
Yeah,
shoulders.
that has to be such a free feeling.
Yeah, and honestly, I was so happy, and I thought it would be hard, going to all the shows and seeing it, and I find I love it. So it's like I knew I made the right decision because I can go to these shows and I don't feel anything from it. And I always would get a lot happier even watching Regan compete than myself. So for me, I still get to have that component of like the being on the stage feel, because when he's on there, I feel like I'm with him there.
It's a team sport.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I get to have all the like fulfillment from the stage aspect, but without having to put myself through that, which for me personally just wasn't healthy anymore.
Right.
No, well, listen, I mean, the weight of competing on your psyche, we're not capable of even discussing it on the scoop here because we're just a bunch of like goofballs. And that really is like some serious mental stuff. But I will tell you this, as an older person who, still enjoys it, I bet you do compete again. And the thing that I would say, just as like big brotherly advice, is you just need to set your expectations from what you want in it. I mean, I think if I were to give you my quick 30-second diagnosis, part of the problem is you competed with the goal of, getting a pro card and getting into the IFBB. I mean, sometimes it's fun to say, I just want to get in shape and throw my hat in the ring one more time. And I think that can be a very fulfilling role as well. And there's nothing, and like you said, it's how you manage you didn't actually say it, but like you're managing your own body and whatever makes you, ultimately, if you're not happy, what's the point?
Exactly. And that's kind of where it got to. I was like, I'm doing all this training and all this meals, and it's a lot of work, which you obviously know. And I wasn't enjoying any of it. But yeah, I guess it's just I went into it with competitive expectations just because I've always been a competitive athlete. So I think, if I ever were to, it would have to be in the terms of just doing it for myself as opposed to doing it for the expectations of winning and, being the best.
Right. Well, and it's a long life too. You guys are so young. I mean,
Anything, it could change so quick.
And I mean, a lot of women I know have, had a child, and part of their like postpartum said, I was such a workout fiend before. That's part of my goal. I mean, so there's all kinds of mental things that'll play in. Yeah, you guys are so young. I got a couple questions. Can I? Is anyone in your family a Canadian Mountie? Okay. Have you ever shoveled snow in July?
No.
Okay. Victoria, how old were you when you first started chewing tobacco?
Probably about 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty early.
Any other Canadian stereotypes?
what other questions?
Do you have a lock on your front door?
Do you eat craft dinner?
Yes.
Yeah, KD, that's right.
I used to,
I used to eat a lot of KD. That one's true. And maple syrup.
Piggies in a blanket. Do you guys do that one? Piggies in a blanket. It's like hot dog
Yeah, of
wrapped
course.
in
Yeah, pigs in a blanket.
But,
I learned
take
craft.
that.
No, I learned craft dinner from Terrence and Phillip from South Park. That's how I got my Canadian knowledge.
What about poutine?
Poutine.
Poutine.
You don't have poutine
Come
here?
on.
It's like French fries with gravy and cheese
on
all on
top.
top.
Well, they call those disco fries.
No, it's called poutine.
You know what I just had? What was amazing, and I've had it. It was the first time I ever had it. Was In-N-Out. Do you guys ever go to In-N-Out?
yeah, In-N-Out out
And
west.
then
Not here.
animal fries. So it's like that sauce on top,
What
cheese,
if it's just like fat
and it's
on
really
top?
good. Basically,
Yeah.
basically it's just fat on top of fries.
That's funny. So yeah, no disrespect to the Canadian
Another
stuff.
question though.
Bring a little-
Guy.
bring a little-
What's Canada's national sport? Do you guys know?
There you go. It's got to be hockey, right?
Wrong, my friend. It's lacrosse.
It's lacrosse.
Wow,
Yeah, it really
lacrosse.
throws people for a loop.
I would have said hockey.
No, it's lacrosse.
That's
yeah.
interesting. Okay.
Play any sports in high school, Reagan? I know you were a swimmer.
Yeah. I actually played hockey and I raced motocross. I did like soccer. I played.
I probably could
What else
have
did
put
I
like an
do?
ATV joke into my Canadian barrage.
Yeah.
You know, like, was your school bus an ATV or something like that?
Well, that was one thing I was going to bring up about high school with
The
you.
rugby too. We had
Okay,
rugby.
so you did play sports.
Yeah.
But on a previous conversation that we had, I think you told me when you were like, how much did you weigh when you were 17 years old?
Gosh, tiny.
Like 150.
Yeah, 150
155,
pounds.
Yeah.
And you competed this past weekend at
At like 240.
240.
Yeah.
Yeah. In off season, you get up to what?
Last off season, I got like 255, 260.
Yeah, that's a big
255,
difference.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking,
Yeah.
6 years, you've packed on a ton of muscle. So, like, that's extremely impressive.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I mean, I know Victoria obviously helps you a lot, but why don't you tell us a little bit about your camp and maybe who you work with in the industry, who you take advice from, who you don't want to take advice from, if there's anyone that, you know.
Scoop, man, it's all about the training.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, if there's anyone that you would say stay away from this dude named Lloyd or whatever, you stay away from those
You
guys.
definitely want to stay away from Boston Lloyd.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you don't want to listen to that guy.
I would agree. Yeah, what was that beef? You want to talk about it?
We
Don't
don't
even
even
bother.
know.
He's just attacked me since day one.
Yeah.
I don't know
So this
why.
has been going on for a while. This
Yeah.
isn't new.
But it's one-sided. Regan never
It's
engages
one-sided, yeah,
back.
I never
So here's the
respond.
beef, and then we won't talk about it.
Yeah.
You're a rising star, and anybody that can put their hand on your star is going to get pulled up a couple levels till they can't hold on any longer because their grip is weak. So that's enough about
That's
that.
enough. That's right.
But who do you work with?
So I work with Chris Aceto
I've heard of him.
as my coach.
You've heard of it, yeah.
He's been in the industry for a little bit.
So you know, I've told Chris's story, but he wrote this book in I guess like the
I have
late.
his book.
I mean, yeah, Chris Aceto's Guide to Championship Bodybuilding, and I mean, I guess when he wrote it. Yeah, he didn't even have the money to get it like really bound. It's almost the first issues were like hole punched, like you would like
hilarious.
a presentation. But
Now it's
I
on
mean,
Amazon. I think you get it.
Yeah, I mean, but I will say this, and I told Chris the same thing. I read that book in 1993 or 4 when I prepped for my first show, and
When I was born.
yeah, oh, that doesn't make me feel real old. So, but I mean, that book was the Bible, and he wrote it first. I mean, now everyone's got a book or a page, but that was pretty awesome on his part. So, and then you're out there training in Golds for the week with someone, right?
Yeah. So actually, after Vancouver, I got second place in Vancouver Pro, and I was like, you know what, I gotta do something different. We got like 4 weeks to get to the Tampa Pro, and which is the last chance qualifier for the Olympia. I got 5th in Chicago, so I was like, maybe I could hopefully I could win, the third show, or at least collect enough points to get myself there. So I made the decision to go out to LA. I talked to Chris Aceto about it, my coach, and we went out there, and I started training with Sean Roden. So we were actually out there for like 3.5 weeks. As soon as I got back from Vancouver, the day after, I flew out to LA.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make that change, to change as much as I could to the next show. By changing, training was totally different. I trained super heavy right into the show, which I'd never done before.
You like that?
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah,
answer.
and it was definitely made a huge difference.
That's a Mike O'Hearn thing, by the way.
Yeah.
Training as heavy as possible.
Yeah,
all
right
the way
in. Don't change it.
So how was the scene in Venice? You make any friends or meet any cool people?
Lots, yeah. It's really cool out there. I really do love it. But yeah, it was just a crazy difference. I worked with Psycho Fitness, so Chris Lewis.
Is that who I see you training with in
Yeah,
some of the pictures?
so in the gym every day, he's my trainer, and then out of the gym, like nutrition wise, Chris Aceto does
Right.
that. So Chris
Is this
Lewis
the first time
definitely
that you've worked with?
with a trainer before.
Yeah.
I've always done my own training,
Right.
and it really is a difference.
I saw some
you know?
interesting things on your videos as far as what you were doing. What was he like? A lot of time under tension type
Tons
thing? I mean, I saw
of
you do
like
some cool stuff.
static holds,
Yeah.
and then like hold for leg extension, like hold for 20 seconds,
Right.
do 10 reps, hold for 10 seconds, do 10 more reps, and then he would when you're doing the static holds, he'll touch the muscle, make sure you're really squeezing it as hard as you can, just like different things like that, angles and weight that you'd lift that you wouldn't feel comfortable if you were by yourself.
Right.
So he was able to push me, past what I would do at home. When you're 2 weeks out, I would always just sort of like drop the weight. I don't want to get hurt. Do a lot more machines and just play it more safe. Right?
He was like, "Don't be a pussy," right?
Yeah, basically.
Totally.
Yeah.
But he would
The tagline for our show, by the way, is just "Don't be a pussy." So I mean,
You
I'm
would
glad
also
to hear
keep
that's how
your
it worked out.
technique, like for
But the
him,
technique would always
you would be
be-
lifting heavier, but you
yeah,
would be watching
yeah.
your technique the whole time.
So you're actually training the muscle that you want to work.
and you're not going to injure
Yeah.
yourself because he's constantly watching you.
Yeah. He's
How'd you
very
get
hands-on.
linked up with him? Where was the connection?
So the connection there, basically, because I work with Chris Aceto for nutrition, and Sean Roden also does. So when I got down there, I went and trained with Sean, and Chris was training Sean. So
Okay,
it went one day, and then what do you guys train tomorrow? And then it just
Very cool.
just kept training every day. And
that's a hell of a
it was
team.
very, very it was very, very motivating. Even one day Sean wore his Olympia tracksuit just to be like, hey man, like you're not prepping for Tampa, you're prepping for the Olympia right now.
That's cool.
And I'm like, damn, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So
Yeah.
that's you're so young. Man.
Yeah,
You're
like that
gonna,
was
dude,
that
you're gonna
fired
be
me
there.
up,
Look, look here, little Reagan. See this tracksuit?
I was like, just gonna keep coming here because this is,
That is a great place to train. It's an awesome atmosphere, and to be around those people, it's like it's very inspiring. So,
What about that dude that won the show in Tampa? Did he look nuts in person?
Josh.
I don't have to say his
He's
last
huge,
name.
man.
He's a
He
very
is
nice
big.
person.
He's
Yeah.
super nice. He's huge.
Yeah, I never really
Yeah.
followed him that much, but when I saw those pictures, it was like, whoa.
He's big.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a big boy.
I don't know what he weighed, but 280.
lot.
Like
a lot.
340
I was-
maybe? Yeah.
Yeah, I was sitting up on the front row when
Yeah.
when you were competing in Tampa, and that top 6 was tough.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
got
that was
Max Charles, who
Yeah.
both of those guys been to the Olympia,
And who was the
right?
guy that got third?
Henry
He was-
Pierre. So he was with he's with Aceto
actually
as well,
stayed
with us.
and we actually roomed together. And Chris met us down there on Wednesday, and we peeked into the show together.
Right.
It's crazy
He's
the way
Canadian.
Chris does it.
Oh,
yeah,
is
he's
he?
also
Yeah,
Canadian.
he's
He's
from
from
Montreal.
Montreal.
Okay. Yeah, that guy's jacked, and then
Yeah.
He looked great. Yeah.
who's the guy that came in 5th?
We don't know him.
Fifth
Okay,
place
I
was.
have to
I've
disagree
never
with.
seen him before.
No knock against the guy. He had an awesome physique, and I'm sure he works extremely hard. He had huge legs,
He did.
but there was no separation in his
He was
legs. So
very
I thought we were
strong.
going to beat him just because of
No,
that.
yeah.
But did you see Regan's tan in the morning? Did you watch the morning show?
It's mud.
Yeah, I saw you this. I
Did
saw
you
you in the
see
morning.
his
Yeah.
tan?
I had mud.
Yeah.
It
It
was
was
like
really
caked
off.
on me. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that sucks. It sucks.
All right, we got to
Tan
stop it
goes-
there. That's too
Enough
deep.
bodybuilding?
Yeah, it's too
Okay.
deep in the
All right.
bodybuilding talk. People are gonna. But I will tell you, I mean, it just goes to show that all that little shit makes
Yeah,
such a big,
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
such
Yeah,
a big
yeah.
difference, and it can be challenging. Let me see. We got a lot of questions
Chris
here.
said he's like, if you didn't have that tan on in the morning, you would have been 3rd or 4th. Like,
Yeah,
he was like,
I can see that.
I'm
Because
like,
once you rinsed
shit.
it off, it made a huge difference.
I'm like, that just sucks.
It does.
But it is the way it is. It's what happens. It
There's
happens.
no shame in coming in that top call out. In
No.
That show, dude.
Yeah.
You did great.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No.
All right, so one thing that I'd like to get into, kind of your short-term and maybe one-year goals, both you guys. And the first thing I would say is you'll be out at the Olympia with us in our booth, meeting and greeting everybody. So everybody going to the Olympia.
We'd love to see you guys
please,
out there.
Yeah, please prepare to stop by. So we had a question here on reverse dieting that someone submitted, but considering you told us she ate the disco fries at In-N-Out Burger, I guess reverse
That
dieting.
was between the shows, actually.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Is that an Aceto thing?
That
Like-
was Aceto. He had me eating 800 carbs for like a week and a half straight.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's actually what I wanted to touch base. I was 2:35 the morning of the show in my first pro debut show, so that was Chicago. I woke up like 2:35. He had me up to 2:58, or no, what was it? Yeah, 2:58 in LA
Jeez.
before I had
But you were
left.
still pretty lean.
And I was still pretty tight, but I mean, I was holding some water. But we were
Right.
trying to grow, right? So he really jammed up that rebound on the food, and so we like kind of food, and then we came back down. And he had me up to like 258 a week out. I'm like, whoa, like what's going on? Like I'm kind of freaking out, right? But I'm like, this is great. I love food.
Yeah. Well, I know Chris and Dave Palumbo worked together, and where I grew up in New Jersey, especially back when I was more into the competitive side, Dave everyone was in Dave's stable, and his thing, if I remember right, was like Whopper and French fries, like 2 days out, 3 days out, 1 day out. So they've always. There's always been like that sweet spot. It's got to be something with the sodium and the fat.
yeah, the fats, yeah.
Speaking of filling out, tell me about the shirt you're wearing here. You've got
got-
a muffin.
We got the
with
muffin pump.
Muffin pump. That's your shirt,
That's
right?
my
the
shirt, BPI Sports.
Regan Grimes shirt.
Signature shirt.
Where can we find that, Dennis?
BPIsports.com, man. Right
Nice.
there in the apparel section.
That's a cool
That's
shirt.
it. When
I'm
does
gonna
it
have to order one
drop?
of those.
When does it drop? What do you got?
I don't know.
on it?
When does it
Soon?
drop?
Pretty soon.
Drops, yeah, early September.
Early September.
Awesome,
Okay,
awesome.
Cool.
So, you guys got to get your muffin pumps.
That's
Pre-workout, 1 or 2 muffins.
So just wrapping things up here, your final things, maybe some goals. When do you think, well, you're competing, so you're not. So for you, your goal is you're staying in the gym and
My goal is just to find like a happy balance between like working out and making sure I'm doing it for the right reasons as opposed to like what I was doing it for before. And then I also just trying to grow my own brand, which is kind of the direction I'm going into, more like lifestyle health and just being like more of like a motivator for women on terms of health and positive body image and mental health awareness, because that's a really big thing for me. So I've done a few speeches on mental health, and that's kind of where I touch on my YouTube videos and whatnot. And then I also just started getting into acting, which was like more so a thing to just get me out of my comfort zone. I did it when I was younger and I wanted to challenge myself, and I really enjoy it. So I'm kind of just been doing that on the side for fun, but also I'm pretty busy helping Regan. So it kind of.
So what kind of acting? Theater or like commercials or what? I'd imagine that there's not a robust film industry in.
Toronto. So we're in London, so I would drive 2.5 hours to Toronto every week.
But Toronto does do a lot of movies because they give crazy tax breaks for production,
Yeah,
right?
so I did, it was like commercial and film kind of acting,
Very
yeah.
cool. That's exciting. I used to do a little bit of that. That's
Yeah,
exciting.
I really like it, yeah.
You guys ever see Sex in the City 2?
Yeah.
I'm in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
They actually weren't going to film a sequel, but then when they got Whitney casted,
Yeah. It's actually a really terrible movie, except for that one scene.
What were you doing in it?
I was the guy at the bar when the girls are singing. They're in Dubai and they're singing, doing the karaoke. I'm the guy that takes his shirt off and stands up in front of the stage there with Sarah Jessica
I have
Parker.
to go watch it now.
It's
and,
really
pause.
quick. It's no big deal,
Still,
but
that's so cool.
it was cool. I got
So
to
you
shoot.
have a credit on IBMD?
I don't know if it's on IMDb or not, but I
Got a
do
SAG
have a
card.
SAG card.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
pretty
And
intense.
yeah.
if Reagan doesn't play his cards right, his pecs will have a SAG card by the end of the year. So on that note, we got the Olympia coming up. I know you'll be there. What's your plan maybe through the end of the year and maybe when we get to see you back in bodybuilding action again?
Yeah, so short-term goals, actually we'll be coming to the Olympia from LA. That being said, we're actually moving out to LA. We're going back to Toronto for about a week, and then we're going out there.
So you're moving to LA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're going out there. I hired Chris Lewis as a trainer full time, and Chris Aceto. Now they both work together. When I went out there, it was like bodybuilding camp. I was able to put things, aside, and I've been able to really focus on bodybuilding solely. And I think that's where I learned this year that that's what I want to do, and I want to take bodybuilding to the next level.
Wow.
So
You're in an awesome spot.
So Dennis, super producer Big Dennis, you played a bunch of sports when you were a kid, right?
Bunch of them.
Imagine if you and your brother got to move to Dallas to play with the Cowboys. Right. I'm sure you're not a Cowboys fan,
But think about lacrosse. What if you were able to move
into Gary Gates' house.
It's the Powell brother compound?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this kid's living the dream right now. You realize that?
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
So, well, the good news is no one's ever moved to LA and lived to regret it.
Yeah.
Except for 90% of the people that move to LA.
You're doing the right thing. That's awesome. You do have a gym back home though. So what?
We do, yeah. Right now, it's managed. It's I got people in place, so it's doing well. So.
Wow. Well, what part of LA? You're gonna move down in the Venice area?
Right into Venice. Yeah, maybe Santa Monica. We're still looking
Marina
for a
Del
place, Marina Del Rey, in that area. With a 10-minute drive to the gym would be perfect.
Do people still leave Golds and go over to Firehouse and eat?
Oh,
and
yeah,
hang out
we
around?
did.
Oh yeah, we do that all the time. Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Man.
And I think how they say the Mecca is kind of, it's not like it was, but I feel like it's getting better and better. I feel more people are going. The
Actually,
vibe there.
I agree. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you guys are young, but the chapter before Instagram, when the magazines still had their clout, I think kind of what happened is the Weider publications were still perpetuating this California dreaming kind of lifestyle. And it just kind of played out. And at the same time, MD in New York and Steve Weinberger and his gym, there was another culture coming up. And it was the East Coast culture.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was there and it was really real and everyone's at the gyms out there. But that's been, 10, 15 years now, and I definitely see on social media, especially you got your picture doing the leg raises in front of the green wall. I mean, that's everybody's there now.
You know
so.
where that is.
Everything's cyclical and coming
Yeah.
back around. So I
Yeah.
definitely think you're back on the forefront of the.
I think it's this
Renaissance,
generation needs to just go back out there. I think if everyone goes out there, it's the people that will make it what it is.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool.
There's a lot of younger guys that showed up at the same time too. So I mean, for years you had the same people training at Golds day in and day out, and all of a sudden you've got this group of 23, 24-year-olds that moved out there.
Class, like the 2000
Yeah.
NBA
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
All those superstars.
LeBron, Carmelo, the whole draft class. Cool. What else?
Oh man, I mean,
we
there's
covered
too
a
much,
lot
but maybe
there.
we'll stop now. I mean, maybe we'll get another interview in Olympia week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Live podcast from the Olympia.
Yeah.
We'll set up somehow.
In the hotel room. Or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
we're in the
right at
front.
the expo.
We're at the expo. You can do it.
I think so.
Cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But no, listen, I'll do the first close and you can do the final close. So I would definitely start by saying you guys are so young and have done so much in the sport, both you guys. I mean, it's totally awesome. And if your bodybuilding careers ended now, you've still left your mark on the industry and you should be really proud of yourselves. And the good news is it's far from going to end now. So it's going to be great. And I've enjoyed, before I met you, I enjoyed watching you guys kind of progress. And then once I met you, you're like both super awesome people. And it's been a pleasure to have you associated with BPI, representing the brand and Cutler Nutrition as well. So glad you're part of the team here. Glad you're part of the family. And I can't wait to see what the next couple years bring for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah.
Yeah, not much that I can add to that. I mean,
Yeah,
he hit the
thanks,
nail on the
guys.
head. No, you guys are great. Looking forward to many years with BPI.
Yeah,
And
we are too.
Yeah.
Well, and listen, more than anything, his final training coach made him train hard and heavy.
yeah,
It's the only way to build big muscles,
I
man.
love to hear that. Kevin
Yeah.
DeHaven, if you are listening,
Yeah, you are so wrong, bro.
Cool.
So awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks.
you.
All right.
All right, so we want to thank Regan and Victoria for stopping by. We appreciate it. And if you guys want to follow along, they both have great social media, so check out their IGs. I think the check the links in the bio. Okay, so.
So listen, the show's getting a little long. We just got a couple segments we want to close up because we always have fun with these. Let's jump to the freak of the week, the athlete freak of the week. And this is one we talked about last night, and I threw Marshawn Lynch's name on the table, and everybody thought it was a great one. There's a couple of things we could say about him, but the first point I want to start with is you got two guys coming out of retirement this week. You have Jay Cutler, the football player, not our buddy Jay, coming down to the Dolphins, and of course Marshawn Lynch going to his hometown team. The way I see it is this. One guy slept late, complained about the heat, said he's not really worried about his cardio, had some crazy smoking a cigarette thing going on with Smoking Jay Cutler.
SmokingJayCutler.com.
And, that's that. Then you got another guy coming out of retirement, broke for 4 long runs in practice yesterday, has been described by his teammates as a much-needed locker room presence that instantly reminds teammates of what Pro Bowl talent is. 31 years old, 5'11", 215. That guy's put together like a...
Wow, he's 31?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Like a brick shithouse.
He's been in, yeah. I mean, you remember back, yeah, because he was with the Bills first, and remember the famous scene from his Cal days when he was driving the cart around the field. He's been around for a while, but man, this guy,
right?
you can't stop this guy.
What did he say? I'm all about what, boss?
About that action, boss.
All about that action.
All about that action.
What's the difference between a guy like, because I guarantee you Jay Cutler's made probably 10 times more in his career, but why is Jay Cutler not a freak? What makes a freak with any athlete?
I just came here so don't get fined.
That was good.
Perfect.
That's
But
good.
yeah,
Well,
Marshawn
look,
Lynch-
I don't know, man. It's the mindset
that's
of a
it, yeah.
champion, and that's a whole nother show. I mean, there's a lot.
That's
we can get into.
all mental. I mean, and you can look at a guy like Marshawn Lynch, and I know he doesn't do a lot of interviews, but if you just see him, you can see it in his eyes. Then you look at a guy like Jay Cutler, who you saw him yesterday. Was it yesterday when he did the interview, and he just looked lazy. He looked like he didn't care. He didn't even really want to be there. I mean, the guy had retired and planned on going on to this broadcasting career, and at the last minute just threw his name in the hat because there was an injury. So totally different approaches here with the comeback. And I want to add one thing to that. What was the first time that you really recognized Marshawn Lynch as being a freak on the field?
I mean, against the Bills,
Of
because we
course.
face them every year versus the Dolphins, and then you had a guy who was not human, running everybody over. Would
Yeah.
make a full spin in the middle of the field and
Yeah.
still be full speed. I've never seen anything that was so grounded when he was running like a Barry
Yeah.
Sanders.
And listen, there's a lot of guys that run people over, but then they go out and sit for 2 plays. I mean, this is your go-to,
It's one of those guys like when
Yeah.
we were kids and we could play for 15 hours and not get tired.
Yeah, like
Right.
the stud kid on your high school team that every play was either this kid right or this kid left.
Yeah, just hit him the ball.
Defense, he
Yeah.
played every snap and every both sides.
Now-
Whitney Reid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I'm going to say the most memorable play or series of plays from Marshawn Lynch was the New Orleans playoff game, and that was when Seattle made the first playoff run. That I can't remember what year that was. Do you know?
That was 2012 or 13.
Somewhere along, yeah. It was right before they changed their uniforms, and he made those crazy runs and really made a name for himself. So glad to see him back.
So Marshawn, hit us up, bro.
Yeah.
Come on the scoop. You know, you got nothing to fear. We're good guys. Listen, speaking of freak athletes, we do have our BPI team member, BPI athlete,
And good guys.
of the week segment coming up. And wait, you know this guy down here? You want to shout him out?
Yeah, Big Steve Reese. He's a huge friend of the BPI family. He's been hanging around us for years. I remember the first time I saw him when I went into the World Gym here in town, and this was right before he started working with us. And I said, "Who is this gigantic dude in here training him? The guy's a monster. What's he? 6'4", 280. I don't know what he weighs, but I mean, just a huge human being." And not only is that, I mean, he looks like a really mean dude, but he's actually a really nice guy, and it was really cool to get to know. And I mean, he's one of our best demo reps, and he's always working hard for us.
Listen, I mean, the guy served our country and saw some serious stuff. I don't want to talk about his life story without his permission, but he's been through the ringer. Military guy, did his tours. He's here. He's a normal family guy. The only thing I can really say negative about him is he had the Odell Beckham hairstyle for a while, and that was some weak sauce. I mean, Steve, your Uchiwali bodyguard had a better verse than you on that one. It's weak stuff.
Oh my God!
But aside from that, the kid is a total.
Does anybody know that reference? This is such a great reference.
Last week we did these references about the Puerto Rican Asian.
There we go. That was a little Jay-Z to Nas beef back in the day.
Watch episode 3 if you want to see what he's talking about.
That's right.
Yeah, maybe if there's I don't know how you would even cite that one. All right, so Steve Reese, total stud, total great guy. If you're in South Florida, he does tons of demos for us down here. He's also been in a lot of our videos. He's easy to find on our Instagram and social media. And he's got a pretty intense looking picture of him when he was in service on his Instagram page. If you want to see what hard really is, it's Big Steve _ Reese, which is spelled R-E-E-S-E. Big Steve Reese on Instagram. Great dude to follow and a great guy to be friends with. Fortunately, we are. So let's wind it down. Let's get into the end here where we have to do a little real business and not just talk about fun stuff. We got a couple great products coming out to retailers. I'm going to start with one of my favorites, which is CLA plus coconuts plus aminos. What is this product and why do people take it? I'm going to give you my quick 2 cents and Whitney can jump on it. Listen, body composition is a word that we don't use enough in the training world. Everybody either says, I want to get big or I want to get lean. What we all really want is to be big and lean. You want lower body fat, more muscle, and that's what body composition comes down to. Coconut oil, CLA, proven weight management ingredients, really great wellness ingredients as well. And of course, with a full array of amino acids, you're talking about muscle repair and growth. CLA plus coconut plus amino is just hitting GNC planograms now, be it other retailers within the next probably month or two,
couple
depending
months.
on when the shelves get reset. But it is an awesome product. Fasted morning cardio in between meals or late night when you're hungry and don't want to put in extra calories. That's one of my go-tos. Whit, you got anything you want to? You've been instructed to talk about?
Well, on the sheet here, it says that we can't forget about 1MR. It's our flagship product. As far as a pre-workout, I mean, it's extremely strong. I only do about a half a scoop. I'm not a huge stimulant fan, so a half a scoop gets me going. Also want to touch on Whey HD. If you go to Vitamin Shop, you'll see there's 4 or 5 flavors on shelf right now, and what we're really known for is our flavoring system. So try those out. My favorite flavor is strawberry.
That Snickerdoodle, though, as people say. Right?
Yeah, Snickerdoodle's great too.
And the peanut butter one.
Peanut butter, yeah. Yeah, so try them all, get them all.
Yeah.
And just recently on shelf, we added the keto amino products. So that is going to go in another line extension of our aminos, and also falls into our keto family of products, which we're doing really well with. And
yeah, our friends are at Vitamin Shop. They're really aggressive in building out the keto diet space. I got to hand it to them. They see that market need, and they're very good at filling trends quickly. So
yeah, they jumped on that one quick. Yeah, absolutely. And the flavoring system as well with the keto amino, because it does have a little bit of the fat in it. Tastes amazing.
There it is. All right, so in conclusion, I want to thank everyone for listening. This is probably, our 4th or 5th podcast, so this is a real thing. I can't believe we actually pulled it off. Dropping every Wednesday on iTunes now. You can also find the entire podcast for free on the BPI Sports YouTube channel and on bpisports.com. Also, shout out to our super producer, Big Dennis here. That's a bootleg from the one and only Funkmaster Flex on New York's Hot 97 FM.
Who is still around, which is crazy.
Someone else too?
I did want to shout. Who was the other one for? My wife, Jen. She always wants a shout out. I'm happy to shout her out.
Dude, it was definitely not a chick. You're
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Hey, you can't shout out Jen, and if I have to shout out India now, I'll get
All
in
right,
trouble
there
if
we
I
go.
don't.
Everybody's good. So until next time, listen, more than anything, when you're in the gym, don't be a pussy.
Got it.